To make financial incentives work more effectively for you, one of the things you want to avoid is the big mistake. The big mistake that employers make is they haven't clearly specified what the objective is. So what I mean by that is, what are you clear and specifically expecting to be delivered and by when? What is the clear and specific reward you're offering for that achievement? So without that clear and specific objective, what we have is that we have the danger of having an ambiguous situation at the end of the process. So say it's the 31st of December, the employee says, well, I thought I achieved that goal. The employer says, well, I don't think you've achieved that goal. We now have an ambiguous situation. We now have disagreement. Make sure that your agreements are clear and specific and are understood by both the employee and the employer. In order to be more successful in achieving the productivity you're looking for, there's good practice. Good practice is when you're setting the goal, it's not a matter of you handing the objective. Get the employee's input to the objective. Say, listen, here's what I'd like to achieve. What do you think about that? Get their input. When you get their input, not only are you getting a better objective, because two heads work better than one, you also have them bought into it. So it's no longer your objective, it's our objective. And that's very effective in getting successful achievement at the end of it. Other things to bear in mind are, do you have the resources that you need to achieve this? Are you in control of what you need to be to achieve this goal? It's good to break down the goal, to set out some milestones. You can give this to the employee and say, listen, here's the objective. Why don't you have a little think about it as to what might the milestones be over the, say, quarters? But what you're doing then is you're taking it from a big objective to be delivered by the end of the year into a series of smaller objectives, and that's effective. And finally, make sure you build in an effective feedback process, that when you sit down and say, well, how are we getting on? What's working well? What isn't working well? But to create an environment where people aren't afraid to say, well, this isn't working well. We came across a problem that we didn't expect. It's okay to tweak objectives. It's okay to change your plan a little bit along the way. But unless you have that effective feedback mechanism, you could come to the end of the year and have not achieved it. So to conclude, don't make the big mistake. Make sure you're very clear and specific about what's to be delivered and what's the incentive, so that there isn't ambiguity at the end. And then back that up with good practice. The things that we've mentioned, buy-in from the employee, the resources in place, feedback mechanisms, a good environment for the truth to be told. If you do that, your financial incentives will work. Productivity will be delivered.